I want to give you a trigger warning because today I wanted to talk about, let's call it, an ideation for the big sleep. Hi, my name's Arlene Bishop. I'm a performing singer-songwriter, and I am a late diagnosed autistic adult. And I'm here in my studio exploring what it means to be a high masking artist on the spectrum. And today I have dragged myself out of bed because I've been in burnout again, which is really common for undiagnosed people, high masking people like me. Burnout, recurring burnout, where, I'm just a wreck. But I wanted to talk to you today because I realized I had a fantasy today that reminded me of the truth of this fantasy. I've had it my whole life, and I don't want to spark the overseers, and I want to give you a trigger warning because today I wanted to talk about, let's call it, an ideation for the big sleep. Yeah, I've had an ideation, a fascination for the big sleep for my whole life. And it started when I was a little kid, when I was a kid in the 70s. Kids in the 70s, girls in the 70s, we weren't autistic. We were just, naughty. We were just troublesome, right? I spent a lot of my time in trouble for saying or doing the wrong thing. I wasn't a bad kid. I just kept finding myself in situations where I was in the wrong-ish. One of the first masks I think I developed was being a bit of a liar because it's a drag to be in trouble all the time. So, yeah, I learned how to swerve out of trouble. I'm not really sure why I'm telling you this confession. I don't know. But that's what it was. I think that's what it was. But when I was negotiating with other kids and trying to play games and being the tomboy that I was and trying to maneuver and understand what everybody else seemed to know how to understand instinctively, which I couldn't understand. And I would be in trouble so frequently for not understanding what was supposed to be so obvious to everybody else. I would go to bed at night, every night, and I would have the same fantasy, a fantasy where I would save someone's life, usually from a barreling car. I would push them out of the way, and then I would be hit, and then I would be mortally wounded. And there, by the side of the road, my family would gather, and I would forgive them, and then I would pass away. And it was cathartic. Thinking about it now is cathartic. It was very dramatic. I think I would cry. I think I managed to get my feelings out. Being an undiagnosed kid, not knowing what was going on and getting in trouble all the time, I did not express a lot of emotions because they were often misplaced emotions. I don't think I expressed a lot of emotions when I was a kid. I just was in trouble and working my way through the day, every day, surviving every day. And that was my MO up until today. But when I was a teenager, I was a dark teenager. I was not a depressed teenager. I was a melancholic teenager. My art at that time was a lot of stuff related to the Holocaust or to Hiroshima. It was a lot of stuff that was centered on mortality and the tragedy Yeah, tragedy and mortality. Those were big subjects for me. Pretty dark. Yeah, pretty dark. When I turned 21, I lived a really dark thing, right? Trigger warning on the trigger warning. I was 21 and I was living with a man who was 31. And he passed away in his sleep while I was asleep next to him. And I found him in the morning. And dealt with it the best I could. I couldn't remember the number for 911. I had an out-of-body experience that lasted for years. I mean, as it goes, it was a nice way to go. He died of natural causes unknown. That's the report. And he went in his sleep. So, in that respect, that's not the worst way to go. But it was very traumatizing for me. And it affected my sleep habits for the rest of my life until last night. It affected the rest of my life. Every night when I wake up at night, and I wake up every night. When I wake up, I need to check on my partner, Yod. I need to check on his sleeping. I need to know that he is breathing. I just need to know that. My son, who's now 23 and 6'4" and very capable of taking care of himself, when he's home, I need to check on his breathing when he's sleeping. It has been a part of my life. It was a part of my life in fantasy, and then it became a part of my life in a real way. Sleeping next to the Grim Reaper was a real thing. That happened. That affected me. And now that I'm turning 60, and family history being what it is, and actuarial tables being what they are, and life expectancy for autistic people being what they are, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of what comes next. I look forward to that sleep. I look forward to the big sleep. Family and friends, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to bring it on. I'm just not afraid of when it comes. I'm exhausted. A lifetime of masking has left me exhausted in my brain, exhausted in my heart, exhausted in my body, exhausted in my soul. I'm just exhausted from always trying to figure things out. And I'm hoping that I can unmask. I'm hoping that I can unmask. And I mean, today, these past few days, been in burnout again, which is an indication that I haven't been unmasking. It's an indication that I'm still masking. I'm still masking. I'm still having meltdowns. I'm still having shutdowns. I'm still falling into burnout. And no, I'm not depressed. I did a video on therapy. You want to check it out? I'm situationally depressed. And it's depressing. It's depressing to be masking all the time. I don't want to be masking anymore. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you about my ideation about the big sleep. And I wonder if that's a thing. Is that a thing for you? Have you ever heard of that before? In the meantime, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to keep surviving. Yes, I'm going to keep surviving. What if this is my last video? That would be, on the one hand, that would be so funny. That would be hilarious if this was my last video. Right? On the other hand, interesting. Right? Interesting. Or possibly evidence. This could be evidence. No, it's none of that stuff. I just wanted you to know. I've got this ideation. I got an ideation with the big sleep. Do you? Do you have an ideation with the big sleep? Is that a thing for you? Yeah. Well, let me know. And you be good to you. You take care of yourself. I'll take care of myself too. All right. I'll see you next time. Thank you.